What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, and indeed we're back with some more Dog Shite. I'm very happy to do this. I'm particularly excited because, I reacted to a tune from this release when I first got it a couple months ago, but I have been remiss. I really need to go through a couple more. We're going to listen to a tune by Dog Shite here on their Mass Deception release on Grow Your Own Records. Shout out to independent labels and punk rock vinyl. Shout out to the folks in the band, Tiddles, Chris, Sam, and Geezer. I should say Guy. But yeah, we're going to listen to a tune that, like 79 in Our Time, which I reacted to before, is also has lyrics and music by Chris. This is a tune called Soldier, and it's interesting. It's a very interesting juxtaposition because the lyrics, which I got to give a shout out to Chris. We all know he's a great acid techno DJ. We all know he's a great producer of different types of techno music, especially with the 303. But I've gotten to know him a little better in the last couple of years, and he's a very wise, considerate, and insightful person. And I notice these qualities when I read his lyrics. He really has a gift with the pen, so got to give a shout out to him for that. But this song, it's an interesting juxtaposition because the lyrics are sort of like the political military version of a song I just reacted to by the Subhumans, Religious Wars, and I was talking in that reaction about the way in which the lyrics discuss young people and people of all ages really, but being sort of manipulated by an all-encompassing set of ideas, which then leads them to go out and engage in violence in the name of those ideas and so on, in far-flung corners of the world that they probably wouldn't go to had they not been ensconced in this belief system and so on. And then when they end up dying, the religious authorities just sort of leave them there and don't really care much because they were just tools to achieve an end in the first place. This is sort of the military political version of that, in that it's talking about the way that young people, especially young men, but also young women, are told that, hey, this is the patriotic way and you should sign up for the military. You'll be fighting for your country, you'll be fighting for the flag, you'll be fighting for freedom and spreading democracy. And they tell them and sell them this story of what it means to engage in this sort of patriotic duty and this civic responsibility and so on. But in the end, a lot of these people, and this song specifically relates to the English or the UK context, so we're talking here about, Whitehall and the British military forces, but obviously it relates to the United States and many other places around the world. They're sent to far-flung corners of the world where they end up engaging in actions that are, destructive to local communities, that cause suffering and bloodshed and death and so on, and they themselves can be maimed or psychologically haunted or indeed killed. And when that happens, some of those same political authorities who sold them that vision of what joining the military would be and what that would mean and what they would be doing, suddenly they don't care so much, and maybe a simple payout to the widow or the family members, but ultimately they were just a pawn. They were just a tool in these larger geopolitical ambitions and goals of, as Propaganda once called them, murderers and psychopaths, which is to say the leaders of the countries around the world. And so there's a sadness to the lyrics because it's like, you were manipulated, you wanted to do the right thing, so you went out there and then suddenly you were, shooting civilians, or at the very least you were engaged in actions which led to the suffering of civilians and so on, and then, oh, by the way, your squad mate died and no one gave a shit, and when you came back to the States and tried to talk to the superiors and upper echelons and whatever, you couldn't get any acknowledgement that he had been sent, on a mission that was doomed or whatever. And so again, whether it's the UK or the US or somewhere else, there's this sense of young people and poor people especially, because let them eat poor, and why do they always send the poor? I'm thinking of Bad Religion songs, I'm thinking of System of Down songs. But yeah, young poor people are often sort of well, serve in the military and you'll do a good duty and you'll be appreciated for it. But in reality, they aren't appreciated nearly as much as they should be, and ultimately they end up, going to places for reasons, whether it's, the attainment of natural resources or enforcing geopolitical hegemony, that, it's not really about spreading freedom or, the things that they were told in the first place. So these lyrics hit me in a very sort of like profound, sad way, but the song is sort of like an upbeat, like ska tune. So it kind of has this like irony, this juxtaposition of like more somber lyrics with like a very like groovy kind of catchy sort of vibe, like sonically. And I do like that. You know, obviously there's Clash songs that have that sort of atmosphere. There are Subhuman songs that do that. So although there are obviously a lot of Subhuman songs that are like rough and rugged and so on, but I do like the juxtaposition of the lyrical content with the tone of the song, which, you know, maybe you would think is going to go in a different direction. So with all that ado, I do apologize. This is Dog Shite on their Mass Deception release, Grow Your Own 30, Soldier, lyrics and music by Chris Knowles, aka Chris Liberator. Can anyone listen to ska and not smile? I could like... And again, her voice, it's sort of like bright and sonorous, but the lyrics is a sharp contrast with that, right? That line kills me. Ended up going over to some place and actually killing people, but he didn't really want to do that. That's not what they told him he'd really be doing. Notice the use of the past tense verb, was. Or at least telling you what you wanted to hear or other people wanted to hear so they could rationalize to themselves what was happening. I love the earlier die, now fire. I love arranging these lyrics with this music. I love it. I like that. I forgot about that. I've listened to this a couple times, but I didn't remember that. Carmel can swear well. Like, not all singers can pull off like a flourish with profanity well, but she does. It's like, basically, some singers sound like they're forcing it a little bit, but no, she makes it work. it. Like I said, the lyrics are so well written, and again, there's, you know, a sadness and sort of like pain from multiple angles of the words, but it's so interesting, like as a concept and as like a theme presented in, again, this sort of like groovy kind of ska vibe. So I really like that song. And again, it's, you know, a different vibe definitely than 79 in our time. So I love an album that sort of walks down different alleyways of, you know, whether it's punk and ska, as in the case of this album, or, you know, another band with another style. But I like when a band explores different walkways within a larger genre. So yeah, I'm here for it. I hope you are too. Let me know what you think of this release. Let me know if you have the vinyl. I also have the CD with some of their older stuff, which I think includes Carl Hendricks of Audio Pancake fame on bass. So I'll get to that eventually, but I do want to go through the newer songs that they put out on this release before I do that. So yeah, we're going to come back for at least a few more of these. Like I said, shout out to Dog Shite, shout out to Chris, shout out to Carmel, and shout out to Grow Your Own Records. Like I said, big ups to independent labels putting out punk rock vinyl in current times. I absolutely love it, and I'll always be ready to buy more punk rock vinyl, as you can tell by the collection. I mean, a lot of these are CDs, but that was a record, that's a record, there's stuff up there from records you can't see, that was a record, that was a record. So yeah, bottom line, I'm here for the punk rock vinyl. I hope you are too. Let me know what you think of the song. Let me know if you're a big fan of the band too. Let me know if you're a fan of the people in the band, as I am as well. And yeah, just let me know if there's any other recommendations or requests you like. Doing a lot of punk rock reactions lately, not just vinyl, but also any of the CDs that you see behind you. So seriously, give a shout out if there's something you'd like to hear reacted to. Other than that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace.